Today we're talking about Aurora. We're going to have a look at some of my other videos, same sort of format. We're going to have a look at what happened a year ago in January 20, compare that to also, for a bit of contrast, what happened just a month ago in December 2020, and then have a look at what happened in January 2021. So 46 total units sold a year ago in January. So that is across all home types. So that is condos, semis, towns, links, detached, everything. In December, we were 74 total units sold in Aurora. That increased to 80 in January 2021. So still a very, very strong active market in Aurora right now. 916,000 was the average sale price across all home types in January 20. And that rose at the end of the year to 1,104,000. And January 21, now we're seeing 1,271,000. So I know you're probably scratching your head going, there's a massive difference between those numbers. How does that happen in 30 days? I would expect in the months coming, what you're going to see is this number will settle out a bit. We are dealing with a circumstance right now where inventory levels are extremely low. Buyer demand is super high. And so there's a lot of bidding and multiple offers going on, which is where you're seeing the plumping of that number. No pun on my last name. And so, yeah, I expect you're going to see that settle out a little bit more. Sales to new listings ratio, I love that as a gauge for the market. It tells us out of the homes coming on the market each month, what is the percentage that are actually selling. So it tells us whether it's a buyer's market, seller's market. At 55 or 50.5% a year ago, it's equaling a balanced market, so there's enough supply to meet demand. 112% in December, so meaning 112% of the homes came on the market in December sold. So that's telling us that not only did we sell through the homes that came on the market in December, but also some of the back languishing inventory began to sell as well, and that is how you get the 112.1%. 80% currently trending in Aurora. That's actually a terrific seller number. It's indicative of what we would have seen back in the early part of 2017. And so very, very strong seller's market right now. Months of inventory, also a great gauge of the market. A year ago, we were at 2.8, December 1.2, and currently at 1%, or sorry, 1 month of inventory. So the market is still declining for inventory, which again, as its supply and demand goes, as the supply goes low, demand goes high, and we're seeing the pricing reflect that. So again, that's where I'm saying as this inventory level begins to rise as we come into the springtime, we should see this number settle out a little bit. It'll quiet the multiple offers. Sale price to list price ratio trending a year ago at 97.2%. In December, 100.2, so just a hair over asking, and 102.3% in January 21. So homes selling in Aurora over asking. Days on market, 45 in January 2020. 31 days in December, and 29 days in January 2021. I'm actually a little bit shocked by that number because some of the other markets surrounding right now actually have considerably less days on market. So I think where you're probably seeing that number is it's pulling back from this 112%. So that older inventory feeds into this current number. So right now, what does this mean for sellers? If I had my own personal home on the market right now, you could expect that you are going to see a lot of activity. Most likely, if your home is priced well to the market, you will see multiple offers. Now, if I was personally a seller right now, I would want a fairly quick closing. If we remember what happened back in the early part of 2017, homes sold in February, March, April, closed in maybe May, June, July. And what happened is after the market began to cool down a little bit and the houses were coming up for closing, banks were doing appraisals, homes weren't coming in for meeting the appraisal that the buyer had paid for them. So if I was a seller right now, I would want to get a fairly quick closing. Now, if you're a buyer right now, you're going to expect a lot of activity, but fear not. The competition should begin to quiet down once we see inventory levels rise. And in other markets, even though we're not necessarily seeing more inventory come in Aurora currently, we are seeing that in other markets like Stouffville and Georgina, we're seeing inventory levels start to pop up, and which will naturally quiet the multiple offers in the bidding as the supply is met with demand. So currently, I would say in this market, we probably have another 5 or 8 weeks of what's going on until the supply is adequately met to the demand. So if you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out to me.